InfoPlus for genuine information.
Dasho Namaste and Kuzu Zampola. Welcome to InfoPlus program on Himalayan TV, a program which has been running since 20 years. And first of all, congratulations for the grand celebration of the Global Peace Prayer Festival in Bhutan.
Thank you very much. I'm very honored.
Dasho Ura, you are not only known as a scholar, but also a philosopher and artist and a public intellect. How has a personal journey shaped your understanding of happiness and well-being?
Yeah, you asked how my journey has shaped understanding of happiness. I think this is really the relevant question in happiness. Because we misunderstand happiness as some instant result of some instant happenings. That may be the case for a brief burst of joy or laughter or excitement, but happiness in the way you spoke is actually a result of long hard work at good habits, at cultivation of strengths in spite of adversity, and at carefully making choices over a healthy lifestyle. Really, so it is really a outcome of a long journey, as you say, instead of some spontaneous happening. So yes, you have to work, as you indicated. You have to work at well-being and happiness.
And Dasho, you have been a principal architect of Bhutan's cross-national happiness. How do you see the relevance of G and H in today's rapidly globalizing and technology-driven world?
I am not the main architect of happiness or G and H. And really, I am a student, and it is a lifelong studentship at understanding personal, interpersonal relationship. To pick up on the contemporary scene all over the world, I think it's a general trend that the modernization is putting some stress on the integrity of the family, the stability of the community, and the peace of the individual, as well as the structure of the community and environment. So these things are have always been fragile, and people worked carefully at it. But when everybody is very busy, because the pace of life, meaning the pace of the individual life, which is influenced by the pace of government planning, market, technological change. Under such kind of rapidity and transience of everything, your focus can shift, let us say, on materialism, let's say, on the one hand. And we can forget, we might forget or undervalue the importance of age-old things that support human well-being and happiness. And these are not great surprises. These are the good and rich environment around you, supportive network of community, village and the family, and a manageable pace in your life, manageable pace in life. So my understanding of the causes of happiness is a bit old-fashioned, I think. So in GNH, the structure of the concept of structural concept of happiness really entails addressing this part, the environment, the human psychology, the community, and one's own culture to some extent, because this is the so to speak, the pond in which the creature develops. So if it changes too rapidly, also you might feel a bit alienated. So the culture and good health, some sort of sound education, which is very broad and holistic. And of course, it is obvious, nobody need to even raise this question, that the first basic floor must be solid, that is the living conditions, the food, the housing, water, sanitation, and all those things must be already there. It is the basic structure on which you build other things. So yeah, in brief, GNH involves addressing all those multifaceted dimensions of life, So it takes a little more broader concept of the causes of happiness, because in some ways of thinking about happiness, there is emphasis on one's own family, one's own job, one's own income, and one's own health. These are, but these are sort of more embodied and individualistic. They are very important, but they themselves are impinged by other broader causes, and so we must always think of other broad causes, including governance structure, really, and the relationship between the way a country is governed and the individuals aspire to lead their life. So, yeah, in GNH, we try to think of all those multiple aspects.
Very inspiring words. What early experiences or influences in your life inspired you to dedicate yourself to the philosophy of cross-national happiness?
I think it's not so much individual choice as the fabric or the atmosphere that existed at the time when I joined the civil service of the Royal Government of Bhutan. It's not a unique or unusual circumstance at all during our time in the late 80s, 1980s, when we attempted to become a civil servant. The idea that gross national happiness should orient development plans and strategies was already pre-existing. I just came into that precondition or the atmosphere, and like many people, we try to advance that in our own personal life, in official policies and programs. Most ministries do, and so then at one stage, somewhere in 2003 or so, we would also do better by trying to put some numbers to the experiment. So the idea of surveys, indicators came up, and so by 2008 or so, we built some sort of ways to verify our ideas by doing surveys and survey-based statistical analysis. So that is how it developed.
Bhutan has a rich spiritual and cultural heritage. How have your Bhutanese roots influenced your worldwide and professional path?
Well, like any other place, every place has its own power, its own story, its own narrative. Obviously, own particularities. But let us say that the roots of Bhutan are twofold. One is like the old Kathmandu Valley, its broader beliefs are Buddhist, Tantric Buddhist. And in this regard, the valley, Newari Valley of Kathmandu contributed great deal to the advancement of Buddhist ideas in arts, in literature, in architecture, you know. Then, of course, besides the Tantric Buddhism, which is a bit universalistic in the Himalayas, there is also a specific indigenous culture of Bhutan, depending on which region we are discussing, because it's also a very microclimatically varied country, you know. But for the conversation we are having, which is a bit general, I would say that the Vajrayana Buddhist Buddhism has been a current which affected all of us, me, my generation, and the generation after that also. So that is one very important feature in the outlook of Bhutanese people.
What lesson can the world learn from the Bhutanese model of harmony between people, nature, and governance?
I don't think we could really put out a very solid case that some other country can learn this or that. You know, it is up to them for to see, is there any strength, is there any interesting or fascinating cases it can check out for itself. However, I think the matrix, the balance between human being and the environment is not yet in disequilibrium in this country at the moment, because the population is low, human footprint is fairly low, land mass is comparatively large, forest coverages are impressively large, outstanding just now. So the natural order and human relationship, I think there is a interesting, the secret to that can be useful and appropriate level of consumption. Once you kind of have excessive level of consumption of natural resources, I think then you are on a downhill path. How to promote an extraordinary level of human well-being in combination with low ecological footprint? This is an interesting question, and the Bhutan itself will also face this question in course of time. But here the interesting thing is the choice of technology on the one side, and well-being, which is also fueled not only by material but something else that could be interesting. And some of the things are non-material in well-being. For example, anyone who tries to maximize well-being every day needs time. Time is not a material thing. It is intangible, you know. So how to create sufficient time for very important aspect of your well-being, such as exercise, meditation, socialization, is a very crucial question. You know. So yeah, in the world which is highly obsessed with activity, productivity, and being busy, you know, busyness is a mark of success in modern time. But being unbusy, or you know, having time for all those valuable, intrinsically valuable human activities. I think that is something you can look. But many traditional societies also have that.
True.
You know, only thing is one has to recognize this as institutionally as important. You have to recognize peace activities as important in itself. It doesn't generate economy, like global peace is in some ways not generating economic output. But the government of Bhutan, led by His Majesty, the King, has said that we need to institutionally recognize that you step back for a weekend, just think about peace. So, yeah, those are valuable things. This is an example where your stance is not driven by economics.
Very interesting words. As you, the president of CBS, and you are the focal person to organize the Global Peace Prayer Festival, which is happening in Bhutan right now, and it has been very much successful. And we can see many delegates, diplomats from around the world, I believe from around 45 different countries. What do you feel about it right now?
It's a humble beginning which has a big potential, I think. We have, for example, you know, economic roadshows these days in the world, industrial output exhibitions, you know, handicraft exhibitions, but or some kind of business conference, summits, and trade talks, and so on and so forth. But we do not have enough global peace festival or governments and countries which set aside time for these things, you know. At an individual level, you know, like giving space, blessed by the king, supported by the government, saying that you think about peace for 10 days, do nothing else. that is an interesting proposition, you know.
What message do you like us to take back to our country through this Global Peace Prayer Festival?
The basic urge of all beings to feel relaxed, peaceful, satisfied, fulfilled is as never ending as the water in the river. So this Global Peace Conference prayer elevates that basic point. More countries, more communities, more subnational level governments can do this, because it is a very shared aspiration of people all over the world.
How do you think society can balance material progress of spiritual and emotional well-being?
We as human beings have normally tendency to oscillate between, you know, we oscillate between positive emotions and negative emotions. Negative emotions such as anger, jealousy, anxiety, phobia, fear, you know, and stress. On one hand, these are negative ones. Well, among that, another prominent one is sadness. And on the other hand, we have also, human beings have experiences of positive emotions like good motivation, calmness. You know, you feel you're in your own skin, and you feel the place is where you belong. Joy, you know, you suddenly feel positive, and this urge to do good things, you know, to others, to other creatures. Then the things, also positive things like feeling of trust, and finally love and affection, compassion, etc. So we have this range of negative and positive emotion, and we always swing between this. Our human predicament, our human destiny is that we just go from dukh to sukh and
Yes.
sadness to happiness, and never finding a stable, continuous, deep point.
How do you think we can overcome with those things in our life?
Yes, first of all, as Shantideva said, you know, human being desire happiness and peace, but we always choose the wrong cause, he said, you know. So causal analysis is appropriate, and all of the negative ones have also their causes. Positive ones also have to have their causes. But in general, let us say that the cause for joy is usually having been kind and considerate to others, kind and considerate to others, having done something meaningful, having done something meaningful, and having kind of achieved something. But it is not the end goal alone. It is the being positively engaged in the process. The what the psychologists call being in the flow. We need to we need to have the possibility and the processes to be engaged all the time in some larger things where we paradoxically forget ourselves.
Yes.
Paradoxical, that is to say. Of course, we at the end of it we remember and we still see ourselves in our own ultimately unsatisfying existence, but we have to do more challenging things, more other concerned things, and more beautiful things. Human beings are sensory and aesthetic beings, so we must be engaged in arts and craft also. We must be a part of the co-creation of beautiful, meaningful things all the time. Of course, at the end, we are, you know, as Buddhists we can say, as Himalayan people, we know that all things come to an end, you know, and that itself is an aspect of the growth of humility to our existence. You know, there are bigger things than ourselves. You know, there are longer processes than ourselves, and we seem to be just a short part of so many longer phenomena, and we have to see that as a reality, and then acceptance of that, you know, acceptance of that sort of impermanence, part of our Himalayan background, I think.
Dasho, Nepal is a neighboring country of Bhutan, and we share a long history and bond together since a very long time.
Yeah.
And we share a similar kinds of culture, tradition, and we follow Buddhism.
Yeah.
What is your view on that?
Nepal, we, you know, say, let's go back to 8th century, for example. At that time, the I think it was Lakshavi dynasty. Nevariri culture and civilization was flourishing at that time, and I think it was a seedbed from where a lot of this Buddhist ideas, northern Buddhist Vajrayana ideas exploded, and even if it was not the seed base, by the way, it was anyway one of the main roots of the ideas and artifacts passing from the Indian civilization to the Tibetan and the Chinese one, and vice versa. So, one thing, one evidence from the 8th century itself is the Bauddhanath temple, you know. The literature confirms it. Such a large structure existed at that time. Even today it is very large, you know, and it serves this, as it did through the centuries, it serves this useful function. It is so close to the main road, bustling, hustling, and then you go inside Bauddhanath's ambience, and people are in another world, you know, chanting mantra and going around, circumambulating. Their consciousness is different from those just 20 feet away in the high street. So, Nepal, as embodied in Bauddhanath or in the 8th century, symbolized that, that great potential of the Himalayas, you know. And one of the great figure which sort of traversed Nepal, Tibet, India, Bhutan, Sikkim, etc., which wove together was Guru Rinpoche, Padmasambhava, you know. And even today in Kathmandu, the footprints of Guru is very vivid, and here is the same. He became also a belt for conveying Nepalese art here, you know. So many Nepalese artisans seem to have come in the olden days, but we have solid evidence that they were here in the 17th century at the invitation of the unifier of Bhutan, you know. Places in Thimphu bear their name. Babesa, the highway in Thimphu, the big town down there, actually means Belbesa. This is a Nepalese place, because there was artisans from Kathmandu who came here and perhaps never went back. And so there are many other shared things. The beauty of a Nepalese song is appreciated here very much. In the 70s, in my childhood and boyhood, towering figures like Madhav Nepalwa, you know, on everybody's lips, you know, and Tara Devi and all such people, because the way human experience is expressed in Nepali song is quite unique.
True.
So, yeah, there are many shared, many things transmitted through this, this kind of influences in Bhutan and Nepal. And you may have noticed today we had the Pandits of southern Bhutan, although included in a Buddhist peace prayer festival. That's exceptional. But that is the highway that is envisioned by our king. He alone commanded that the Pandits should be included. So the sort of in a globalizing world, we have to take account of the power of interfaith, power of others' ideas, power of others' practices, So in this way, Nepal is not far away also, and we have similar geologies, similar farming, small farm practices. You know, the farmers in Nepal and farmers in Bhutan are very similar. 2, 4, 5 acres on a slopey land, you know, and we have same forest belt going on. And the mountains shape the people in similar way, you know. So there is a lot of travel, and in Nepal, Lumbini, Kathmandu, and then the great mountain regions of Nepal, various base camps, and the Terai with the gorgeous parks, hypnotized Buddhists also, you know. So it is on the horizon of the Buddhists, what I meant to say is.
And we can also see at the Global Peace Prayer Festival the Hindu Pandits, and it shows the message of bringing all the global spiritual leaders together, isn't it?
Yes, as some great mind said, Hinduism and Buddhism are brothers or sisters, you know. They come from the same womb actually, and the distance between them is not a lot, you know, not a lot. So we must generously accept each other, as have our ancestors in the past, you know. I think in this respect, Nepal, the level of diversity that places like Kathmandu have is extraordinary. You know, the faith, caste, sects, clans. It's a vivid example of how to live together. We all have. In this short life, we must live together.
When you look ahead, what legacy do you think will leave through cross-national happiness and your work for future generations?
Well, this is not my work, I must say. I'm just an old civil servant, and I carry out the directives of the government. So the directive of the government is to the institution of Center for Bhutan Studies to carry out further research, empirical research on the concept of cross-national happiness, which is a product of the fourth king of Bhutan, whom you saw today.
Yes.
He was attending also the proceedings of the Hindu Pandits' prayer session in the evening, but he was also present in the morning when the Russians, Sangaraja was praying. So, and His Majesty is 70 this year, fourth king. So it is actually his legacy, and it is a very powerful, it's probably a futuristic one, in the sense that people will miss it if they don't have gross national happiness in the future. It is at society's peril, they ignore such wise things. So myself, I am a humble old civil servant, and I am part of the Center for Bhutan Studies, which is mandated to carry out this research. So we do surveys every 4 years, and like any birds which is migrating through the forest, I'll go out, somebody else will come and they will continue the work, and I will be in some other place. So yes, in this sense, the continuity will be preserved, and in the chain of link, yeah, I was also part for some time.
As this Global Peace Prayer Festival is happening for the very first time in Bhutan, and we have not witnessed till now in any of the country like this. So any message you would like to give through this?
One example the Global Peace message shows, I suppose, is that to bring out such kind of a event on a small scale, on an international scale it is very small, Yeah, 45 countries are present, but the number of people participating from foreign countries maybe 5,000 or so only, and there are about 8 times or 6 times Bhutanese attending. So from an international point of view, 5,000 you may consider is just symbolic, you know. In terms of participation of the Bhutanese, out of 7 lakhs is quite a lot. 40,000 in one site, the global peace side. But there's another ritual going on the hill. That's another 10,000 or so. So that's significant. But numbers are important, but numbers also are sometimes misleading, because if you have a big population, you will have a Kumbh Mela. If you have no big population, the Mela itself is quite small. Yet the integrating power of peace effort is quite apparent. You can say, why would 45 people from 45 nations and all significant Buddhist religious leader would come to a faraway place, faraway and expensive actually to come. Why would they come? Because they all live in one bandwidth, let's say. And they all think this is very important to respond to the King of Bhutan's call. So the integrating power of peace, search for peace and methods of peace, there are many methods, but this is one of them, seems is really self-attracting, self-magnetizing. Why would people come otherwise? It's not a kind of dal bhat mela, you know. So, but on the other hand, in order to produce this kind of event, also you need a slightly integrated society, it seems. You can see it is blessed by the twice a day visit by the king, queen, their great father, His Majesty the Fourth King, you know. Yeah. And they pay so much attention, you know, to this. I will let you into a secret. I was at the gate when the enormously charismatic Fourth King of Bhutan just came. He rarely comes in the crowd, but this time in the peace, he was visible twice a day. He's 70. How youthful he looks. Because he practices GNH himself. Highly disciplined man, highly visionary, and well, with regard to, I'm sure, you know, his bodily habits also, he is very ascetic. Anyway, he told me as he walked past the entrance, the gateway to the peace arena, he passed, said, in this respect, he is always philosopher. I expected he will, I expected he would say that peace prayer is very important. But what he said made me pause. I mean, he said, prayer itself may not have any result. He said so. Prayer itself may not have, may not produce result, but the positive energy it releases will do that, will do it. So he is not superstitious. At the same time, he takes into account the psychological and motivational effect of it, you know. So he said the positive energy is the space from which some great things will come out. So yeah, he is very unorthodox, very unorthodox thinker in that way. So we are glad to have the kind of profound views like that. Do we have opportunity to hear? So that is the point, I think. Yeah, a lot of people will feel rested, reposed, connected, and maybe in this busy hustle bustle, rather confusing modern life, some people see a flash of insight that I must direct my life like this. I will not drive myself into needless activities. I will choose balance and slow down, de-escalate, and redirect myself to greater things. Maybe that is the outcome of peace prayer for many people.
Okay.
You know.
Thank you so much for your time and sharing your insights with us. Namaste and Tashi Dewa.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Info Plus for genuine information.